I don't know how to put this, but he's kind of a big deal. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times Will Ferrell was awesome. For this list, we'll be ignoring fun Ferrell moments from his film and TV roles. Instead, we'll be looking at those weird little moments of quirk and awesomeness from outside of his usual work. Number 10, when he appeared on Hot Ones. We all know Will Ferrell has a tempestuous relationship with fire the rest of us can't see. However, for this interview, ostensibly to promote 2020's black comedy Downhill, the fire was in his mouth.
You don't seem to be reacting the same way I'm reacting.
Initially, he handles the first round reasonably well, but then things jump up a notch. It's clear that Ferrell strives to remain cordial and answer the questions in a professional manner, but it's not long before he's pulling out the tissue and tossing it to some production assistants.
Souvenir!
We don't know what Ferrell did to deserve this, but we're pretty sure he was hoping for some of that downhill snow to cascade over him right about then.
I literally didn't even hear your question. It's so hot.
Number 9, when he roasted Justin Bieber. We don't know about you, but we would love for Ron Burgundy to sling insults at us, no matter the context.
I don't have a lot of time. I'm currently over at stage 24, hosting Spike TV's Your Mother's a Fat Bitch award show.
It would seem Justin Bieber would agree, as he seemed all too pleased to have Ferrell as Burgundy land some barbs at his expense. Burgundy's approach from the outset seemed somewhat defensive of the Biebs, claiming he's, quote, a man who works with his hands, before tacking on a few more commendations Bieber probably wouldn't apply to himself.
Hocked a loogie at his neighbor after the guy complained that Bieber was driving 100 miles per hour in his gated community neighborhood. Eat that, bitch!
Honestly, we don't know how Ferrell keeps a straight face through all this, because the STD comment had us laughing to tears.
This kid has spunk, moxie, and probably a few other STDs, okay?
Number 8, when he spilled and filled his guts. Seriously, Will Ferrell should have gone on Fear Factor, because he absolutely would have killed it.
Just a sec.
In the meantime, though, we have James Corden to thank for bringing him on for this segment entitled Spill Your Guts or Fill Your Guts, which sees both participants having to choose between answering a difficult question or ingesting something disgusting. It's kind of like Truth or Dare if every dare was to eat something gross. Ever the professional and refusing to disparage his own work or colleagues, Ferrell elects to fill his guts every time, and sometimes spill them afterwards in the conveniently placed wastebasket. Although apparently he's a fan of ant yogurt. Number 7, when he survived the Arctic Wild. You know what? Forget Fear Factor. We want to see Will Ferrell on Survivor if his expedition with Bear Grylls through the Swedish wilderness is any indication.
There's a Twinkie. Can I eat this now? No, save it.
Again, though, Ferrell surprisingly holds his own opposite Bear Grylls, at least in comparison to any of us, largely keeping his sense of humor throughout. But it would seem that Ferrell just can't escape eating gross animal parts when Grylls cooks them up a nice serving of reindeer head with a side of eyeball.
Better? Yeah, no, it's terrible.
Seriously, between Ferrell eating a fisheye in our last entry and this one, we only need 8 more to get a top 10 times Will Ferrell ate gross eyeballs list going. Can somebody get that trending?
Not all bad.
Not bad.
Number 6, when he was between two ferns. We know Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis have great comedic chemistry in comedy sketches, as evidenced by their Funny or Die video, The Debate Cleats.
We'd ask you gentlemen to pay attention.
It's pretty interesting coming from a guy named Ted Fartass, you know?
Yet even before then, we had this gem of a sketch that sees the two of them in one of the most ineffective interviews you'll ever see. It would seem that every time Galifianakis wants to get a question out there, something comes to interrupt it. From a small child to half-assed sponsorship to John Hamm.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you guys.
We know it's all scripted, but it still feels like Ferrell and Galifianakis going all Lady and the Tramp over a handful of strawberries would be something we'd only see in our weirdest, and we mean weirdest, dreams.
Lost 9 pounds.
Number 5, when he sold knives. Will Ferrell, knife salesman? Yeah, we could see that.
I have knives to sell, Kimmel, okay?
All right, make it, but do it quick, okay?
This hilarious Kimmel sketch sees his filming space usurped by a mustachioed Ferrell, who feels indignant over his long-running knife-selling show not getting the credence it so obviously deserves. Except Ferrell's antics are only the icing on the cake, as he has an equally intense Ryan Gosling by his side.
Cookie dough. Cotton candy. Chocolate milk. You always gotta slice chocolate milk.
How many?
The sketch proved so popular that they brought back Ferrell and Gosling 3 years later for another segment in our favorite late-night, knife-related shopping show. And we're sure it had nothing to do with Gosling's crime comedy The Nice Guys being released just weeks later. Get it? Knife guys? Nice guys? Yeah, you got it. Number 4, when he played spring training baseball. Over the years, we've learned that Will Ferrell will do just about anything to promote cancer charities, including doing what no one else has and suiting up for 10 Major League Baseball teams in one day.
These teams need a clubhouse presence, and by presence, I mean a 47-year-old flabby guy who doesn't know how to play.
During 2015 spring training in Arizona, Ferrell took the field in 5 separate games for 10 separate teams at 10 separate positions, designated hitter included. Needless to say, the crowds ate it up, and Ferrell didn't do too terribly for himself, recording an out on the mound and fouling off a fastball from the Giants' John Mackey. But what's a day like that without a rousing speech to tie it all together? At 47 years old, Ferrell ended his baseball career on top. Number 3, when he gave a commencement speech. Dr. Will Ferrell? Yep, that's how we all have to refer to him, since the University of Southern California awarded him an honorary doctorate in 2017. In return, Ferrell gave the commencement speech at that year's graduation ceremony for the school, and it is nothing short of awesome.
I would also like to apologize to all the parents who are sitting there saying, Will Ferrell, why Will Ferrell? I hate Will Ferrell.
Sure, he makes a plethora of jokes at his own expense and regales the audience with his memories as an undergraduate, but he also manages to tie those into the theme of venturing into adulthood with a determination to keep trying things.
No matter how cliche it may sound, you will never truly be successful until you learn to give beyond yourself. Empathy and kindness are the true signs of emotional intelligence.
Graduation speeches can often be long-winded, but this one proves to be as funny as it is inspiring.
And I will always love you.
Number 2, when he had a drum-off with Chad Smith. Will Ferrell is no stranger to dressing up as kooky characters on late-night television, with his memorable turn as Little Debbie coming to mind.
I have to wear it. I'm the new face of Little Debbie's snack cake.
But sitting alongside his apparent doppelganger, Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer Chad Smith takes the proverbial snack cake. Sick of being confused for one another, they decide it's time to squash their beef the only way they know how, a drum-off. Surprisingly enough, the contest is closer than you would think, with Ferrell showing off plenty of panache and prowess.
Take notes, Chadwick.
Turns out Ferrell is crowned the victor, but really we're all winners when he plays the cowbell alongside the rest of the Chili Peppers in a rendition of Don't Fear the Reaper. Before we unveil our favorite Will Ferrell moment, here are a few honorable mentions.
As of 0900 Mountain Time, Paramount Pictures and myself, Ronald Joseph Aaron Burgundy, have come to terms on a sequel to Anchorman.
Just a small town girl
Where does she live?
living in a lonely world.
Does she stay there or was she traveling?
Would you say your love life was similar to this man? That's Pete Davidson.
No. But I would say his body tattoos are similar to mine.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought when I saw that photo.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means to the Twilight franchise. I just don't know.
Will, I'm sure it's gonna be fine.
It's not gonna be fine, ever!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. When he made The Landlord. Ah, the early days of YouTube. We were there, but so were Will Ferrell and Adam McKay, ready to make millions of people laugh at the antics of a potty-mouthed infant.
You don't have to raise your voice.
Debuting with their comedy site Funny or Die, The Landlord sees Ferrell paired alongside McKay's then 2-year-old daughter Pearl as a slacker tenant and an uncompromising landlord, respectively.
I got my money, bitch.
Hey, don't call me bitch, I'm a grown man!
God, you're mean.
The more Ferrell tries to convince Pearl that he'll pay their rent soon, the more Pearl becomes vulgar and hostile, demanding she get paid so she can get to drinking. Say what you will about having an infant repeat such words, but the end result is absolutely hilarious, proving Ferrell knows how to play off just about anyone.
This isn't over.
Come, Mommy.
Jesus.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.